10 nightmarish murders that happened in dream holiday destinations. Welcome back to Odd Occasions, the channel where we explore some of the most bizarre, chilling, and mind-bending stories from around the globe. As travel restrictions continue to ease, many of us are dreaming about venturing out once again to explore those beautiful paradise-like destinations we've been longing to visit. But even in the most breathtaking places, sinister secrets sometimes lurk beneath the surface. And what starts as a dream, vacation can turn into a horrific nightmare. Today, we're counting down 10 nightmarish murders that took place in some of the world's most popular holiday spots. These stories serve as a haunting reminder that beauty can hide dark secrets. So, let's get started and dive into these unsettling cases, beginning with the tragic story of Sarah Groves in Kashmir, India. Number 10. Sarah Groves, Kashmir, India. Sarah Groves was a 24-year-old fitness instructor from the UK who had been traveling through India. After arriving in the southern city of Goa, she met a young man named Sami Shoda from the northern region of Kashmir. The two quickly became close, and eventually, Sarah agreed to travel 1,500 miles north with him to visit his family in Srinagar, Kashmir. In the early hours of April 6, 2013, around 3 a.m., Sami's mother awoke to strange sounds coming from the houseboat where Sarah was staying. She and other family members went to investigate and discovered a horrifying scene. Sarah's body, lying in a pool of blood, covered with more than 40 stab wounds. A Dutchman named Richard de Wit, another guest staying in the area, was reported missing shortly after Sarah's body was found. After a brief period of evading the authorities, de Wit was arrested about 45 miles away from the crime scene. When he was finally apprehended, he reportedly said, "The devil took over my body." The case seemed open and shut, and Sarah's family hoped for a swift resolution. However, a decade later, justice has yet to be served. A variety of issues, delays in court proceedings, political complications and security concerns in Kashmir have prevented any verdict or sentencing from being delivered. De Wit now claims he was framed, adding yet another layer of complexity to this tragic case. Number 9. Yuri Shipulin and Nataliya Gerasimova, Denarau Island, Fiji. The chilling murder of Yuri Shipulin and Nataliya Gerasimova on Denarau Island, Fiji, stands as one of the country's most haunting unsolved cases. Yuri and Nataliya, Russian nationals, had relocated to this peaceful island in 2011, where they planned to settle permanently and make a life together on their farm. On the afternoon of Thursday, June 16, 2016, they hopped into their car and headed off to a destination known only to them. Tragically, this was the last time anyone in their community would see them alive. That very evening, they were reported missing, and no one could pinpoint where they might have gone. The first clue came 2 days later when their car was found abandoned on Nataliya Beach. This suggested their last known whereabouts, but any hope for their safe return was shattered by the gruesome discovery that followed. On June 29th, nearly 2 weeks after their disappearance, authorities had to close off part of the beach after severed limbs washed ashore, later identified as belonging to Yuri and Nataliya. Over the following days, more body parts appeared, weighted with rocks and wrapped in netting, revealing the disturbing fate of the couple. Despite extensive investigations, no one has ever been arrested for this brutal crime. And, as of July 7, 2016, less than a month after the tragedy, local police announced that they would no longer comment on the case. Today, the mystery of Yuri and Nataliya's deaths continues to haunt the island, leaving behind more questions than answers. Number 8. Michaela McAreavey, Grand Gaube, Mauritius. Grand Gaube is a paradise island known for its crystal-clear waters, pristine beaches, and luxury resorts. Truly an Instagram-worthy dream destination for travelers. In January 2011, Michaela McAreavey and her husband John arrived there to celebrate their honeymoon at the upscale Legends Hotel Resort, fresh from a visit to Dubai. Just a few days into their stay, Michaela went back to their room during lunch to grab some snacks. Tragically, she walked in on a burglary in progress. The assailant, desperate and panicked, wrestled her to the floor and strangled her before leaving her body in the bathtub, with the water still running. When Michaela didn't return, John decided to check on her. He made his way back to the room, only to discover the horrific scene. Initially, John himself was detained as part of the investigation. But, as the police searched for leads, their focus shifted to 2 hotel cleaners. The suspects were charged after authorities found that a master key card, accessible to staff, had been used to enter the room, indicating an inside job. However, due to a series of investigative blunders and weak evidence, the case against the 2 men collapsed. They were released and no one was ever held accountable for Michaela's murder. Despite reassurances from local authorities that the case would be revisited, it remains unsolved to this day, leaving Michaela's family and friends without answers or justice. Number 7. Kyle Bruner, Nassau, Bahamas. Nassau, with its sparkling beaches and vibrant nightlife, draws visitors from all around the world. But in May 2013, this tropical paradise became the tragic setting for a story of bravery and loss. Kyle Bruner, a 34-year-old first mate on a private yacht, had docked on the island. During his time ashore, he witnessed a woman being mugged by a group of men. As a former member of Indiana's Army National Guard, Kyle wasn't the type to stand by when someone needed help. Acting on instinct, he intervened, confronting the attackers in an effort to protect the woman. Sadly, his courageous act of kindness led to a deadly altercation. One of the men shot Kyle in the neck at close range, and he died at the scene. His death was a devastating blow to his loved ones, and a harsh reminder of the risks some face to protect others. In November 2015, 3 of the 5 men who stood trial for his murder were found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Although Kyle's life was tragically cut short, he is remembered by his family and friends as a selfless hero who gave his life trying to protect a stranger in a foreign land. Number 6. Sarai Sierra, Istanbul, Turkey. Istanbul, a city steeped in history, has served as a crossroads for centuries, linking Europe, Asia, and Africa through its ancient trade routes. Its unique blend of beauty, culture, and intrigue makes it a dream destination for countless travelers. In January 2013, one such traveler was Sarai Sierra, a 33-year-old mother of 2 from New York. Sarai, an avid photographer, was drawn to Istanbul by its stunning architecture and rich history. Although she initially planned to visit with a childhood friend, she ended up making the journey alone when her friend couldn't join. On January 22nd, as her trip drew to a close, she suddenly disappeared, sparking a citywide search when she failed to return to New York as planned. After 12 agonizing days, Sarai's body was discovered near the city's ancient walls. The autopsy revealed that she had died from a blow to the head. Turkish authorities launched an intensive investigation, and in March 2013, they apprehended a suspect near the Syrian border. The man, identified as Ziya Tassali, was a homeless scrap paper collector who confessed to the crime. He claimed he killed Sarai after she refused his advances. Tassali was subsequently sentenced to life in prison. Sarai's tragic end left a mark on Istanbul's tourism community, and her story serves as a somber reminder of the risks that can accompany solo travel, even in the world's most celebrated cities. Number 5. Bakari, Henderson, Zakynthos, Greece. Zakynthos, with its picturesque beaches and lively nightlife, attracts thousands of young travelers each year. But in 2017, this beautiful Greek island became the tragic setting for a brutal act of violence that claimed the life of 22-year-old Bakari Henderson. Bakari, a recent college graduate and aspiring entrepreneur, was in Zakynthos to photograph his new clothing line. One evening, he was enjoying himself at a bar in the popular Laganas area, where he was caught on CCTV taking a selfie with a young woman. This innocent moment quickly turned dark when a man nearby began berating the woman, enraged that she had posed for a photo with a black man. The confrontation escalated, with Bakari being threatened and chased from the bar. Outside, CCTV footage captured the horrific scene as Bakari tried to escape a mob of more than 10 men. He was caught and brutally attacked, repeatedly punched, and kicked in the head by the group until concerned locals stepped in. Bakari succumbed to his injuries at the scene. Despite the entire incident being captured on CCTV, none of the men involved were convicted of murder. Instead, they received sentences ranging from 5 to 15 years for the lesser charge of deadly assault. This tragic incident shocked the world, highlighting the racial hatred that still exists in some corners of society, even in places where travelers expect nothing but relaxation and fun. Number 4. Antoinette Traboulsi, Varadero, Cuba, with its pristine beaches and turquoise waters, has long been a favorite escape for travelers seeking sun and relaxation. Among these frequent visitors was Antoinette Traboulsi, a hospital worker and mother of 4 from Montreal. After months of working tirelessly during the pandemic, Antoinette was eager to return to Cuba, a place where she had found joy and tranquility many times before. On November 13, 2020, she arrived in Varadero, rented an apartment with some local friends, and spent her day soaking in the beauty of the beach. She shared photos and videos online, capturing the happiness she felt being back in her favorite getaway. However, when she failed to meet a friend for dinner that evening, concern quickly grew, and she was reported missing. 3 days later, a 15-year-old boy walking along the beach noticed human remains partially buried in the sand. The police identified the body as Antoinette's. An autopsy revealed that she had suffered severe injuries, including trauma to her head and bite marks on her chest. Her face was bruised, and there were signs of distress. Though a man was arrested in connection with her murder, Cuban authorities have been tight-lipped, revealing almost no details about the individual or the ongoing investigation. However, Antoinette's cousin, Sami Sousa, has received messages from anonymous sources, confirming that someone has been apprehended for the crime. To this day, the specifics of Antoinette's tragic death remain unclear, leaving her family and friends in search of answers and justice for the horrific crime that took her life. Number 3. Sheila von Weisemak, Bali, Indonesia. In 2014, Sheila von Weisemak and her teenage daughter, Heather, checked into the luxurious St. Regis resort in Bali, looking forward to what was supposed to be a bonding holiday. This stunning island paradise seemed like the perfect escape, but Sheila had no idea it would be the last place she would ever see. Unbeknownst to her, her own daughter and her daughter's boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, were plotting a gruesome betrayal. Heather, who had been growing increasingly rebellious since her father's passing, was struggling with her mother's attempts to reconnect. Sheila hoped this trip would bring them closer together, but Heather had other plans. Days after they arrived, Tommy joined them at the resort. CCTV footage later showed him entering Sheila's room with murderous intent. In a shocking act of violence, Tommy bludgeoned Sheila to death with a glass fruit bowl, while Heather assisted in concealing the crime. Together, they stuffed Sheila's body into a suitcase, wheeled it through the hotel, and left it in a taxi, hoping to escape unnoticed. The pair was soon apprehended, found sleeping in another hotel, and charged with murder. In the end, Heather received a 10-year sentence, while Tommy was given 18 years. Their relatively light sentences, especially compared to the death penalty they might have faced, raised many eyebrows. Heather was released early in October 2021 and was promptly deported back to the United States. The story of Sheila's tragic death underscores the betrayal that can sometimes come from those closest to us, even in the most beautiful and seemingly peaceful places on Earth. Number 2. Theodore Walling, Montego Bay, Jamaica. Montego Bay, with its warm sands and inviting waters, is a popular retreat for retirees and tourists alike. But for 65-year-old Theodore Walling, a recent retiree from Detroit, this beautiful Jamaican paradise turned into the backdrop for a gruesome crime in March 2020. Theodore was last seen entering his hotel room with a young man later identified as Sonnyman Shortman Walker, a 21-year-old local. Tragically, what followed was a brutal attack. Theodore was stabbed multiple times, and his valuables, including a laptop, phone, and a collection of gemstones, were stolen. Authorities were baffled by the nature of the meeting between the two, but they quickly zeroed in on Walker as the main suspect. His face appeared on news broadcasts across Jamaica. However, Shortman managed to evade capture, staying one step ahead of law enforcement for almost a year. Eventually, he was apprehended just moments before he was about to be smuggled out of the country to Haiti, where he would have likely escaped prosecution. The arrest closed a harrowing chapter in a case that shook the community, leaving lingering questions about the trust we place in strangers and the hidden dangers that can sometimes lie in paradise. Number 1. Hannah Witheridge and David Miller. Koh Tao, Thailand. Upon arrival, Koh Tao seems like paradise. Crystal clear seas, sandy beaches, and lush green mountains offer a breathtaking tropical escape, perfect for relaxation, scuba diving, and unwinding. But beneath its serene beauty lies a dark side that tragically claimed the lives of two young British travelers, Hannah Witheridge and David Miller. And the two didn't know each other when they checked into the same hotel, but they quickly became friends. After a night of drinking in the bustling Sarai beach area, they made their way to a secluded stretch of beach, a place that appeared peaceful, away from the noise and lights. The next morning, a cleaner discovered their bodies. Both had been brutally attacked with a metal hoe commonly used for digging sand. David had suffered fatal blows to the head before drowning in the sea, while Hannah had been raped and viciously assaulted. Mere minutes after the discovery, disturbing images of their bodies began circulating around the island, long before an investigation was even underway. Eventually, two young Burmese migrants were arrested and confessed to the murders, allegedly under torture by the Royal Thai Police. Despite widespread doubt in the local community about their involvement, the two men remain imprisoned, though they were spared the death penalty in 2020, thanks to a royal pardon. To this day, many believe the real killers are still free, rumored to be connected to a powerful local family. Since then, more unexplained tourist deaths have occurred on Koh Tao, fueling speculation about a hidden danger lurking in this island paradise. And there you have it, 10 haunting stories of dream holidays turned into nightmares. While these tragedies are unsettling, they remind us to stay vigilant, even in paradise. Thank you for watching Odd Occasions. If you found these stories intriguing, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. Let us know in the comments which story shocked you the most, or if there are other mysterious tales you'd like us to cover. Stay safe, stay curious, and remember, the world is full of odd occasions, just waiting to be uncovered. See you in the next video.